I'm right about now to make a video which will somewhat be a review of SummerSlam, and it will also be a look into the future. What will happen, what will come up SummerSlam, what will the backlash be, what will the fallout be from what happened at SummerSlam this year. The first thought that came to my mind was that the 2009 SummerSlam was a little better in the match quality overall. However, I wouldn't say that this year's SummerSlam was any worse or not as good, because it had its moments as well. It was way more chock full of surprises. Daniel Bryan's return, Undertaker returning just like last year, but it wasn't as talked about as it was last year. You had the Nexus coming in during the Kofi Kingston-Dolph Ziggler match, ruin it. And also had The Miz, that goes in with the Daniel Bryan story, wanting to join the team. You believed it was going to join the team, and it felt like a letdown because you like being surprised, and there was The Miz. But in the end, you were surprised because Daniel Bryan made his comeback, and that way it happened a lot of stuff during these 3 hours that was SummerSlam 2010. And just like last year, they started out kind of slow with the matches, except for Rey Mysterio, Dolph Ziggler last year, but then progressed, moved on, and built it up and stepped up the ladder until the main event came, which topped them all. So I'm happy with most of the matches, how they went. I will come to one match that I at first wasn't happy with initially, but I am kind of now, because that explains, and I will share what I think will happen with some of my what you call hypotheses. And the first thing that came to my mind was how happy I was that Kane finally could defeat Rey Mysterio. Because Rey Mysterio, he's the kind of guy that can beat anybody, no matter how big they are. Because he has had 5 surgeries in his left knee, or is it right knee, I don't care. He finally defeated Kane, and no, Kane finally defeated him. You see, I'm kind of traumatized. Kane is still the champion, apparently confronted by the Undertaker. He was, but he gave him a tombstone, and we'll see what works out from there. The one that shocked the people the most and including me at first, was that the Nexus didn't win their match. Despite Edge and Jericho beating the hell out of John Cena, and the WWE team more or less eliminating themselves, with Jericho, Cena, and Edge confronting each other and getting in each other's ways, they still won, and that surprised a lot of people, because it felt like the Nexus was a weak team. They despite this come-together group with their collective and what you say, unified agenda, they lost to a team that has had a lot of troubles within them, so between them, internal problems. So, and the following night on Raw, the Nexus lost yet another member, Darren Young, and they seemed to be even weaker, because they had to win each and every match, and they were a little lucky in some, a little more lucky in some other matches, which they won, for instance defeating Randy Orton and Edge. The match that impressed me the most was Wade Barra defeating Chris Jericho fair and square in the ring, one-on-one. Now, what is the future for the Nexus? No one will know for sure, perhaps not even the WWE creative team, because plans can change, and they will change, and they will most likely not turn out exactly as they believe that the plan will turn out right now. We all know, however, I'm pretty sure that after thinking that the Nexus haven't seen their brightest days yet, they haven't had their peak yet, their best days are about to come, and their best days lie ahead of them. Now, why is that? Simply because right now people are fooled to believe that they are kind of dipping down, maybe to never come back. They just lost at SummerSlam, but there are a lot of interesting quotes here that if you pick them up, you could perhaps somewhat distinguish what's going to happen in the future. One of them is that what Wade Barra said this past Monday night on Raw, that what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. He said that after their loss at SummerSlam, and people could kind of say, yeah, maybe they will come back, but it doesn't feel like it. They feel pretty weak right now. And then they lose one more member in Darren Young, and people, oh, this isn't looking good. What's going to come of this? I mean, if they couldn't win with 7 people, now they're down to 6. How's that going to work out? That's logically, if you look at it from a mathematical standpoint, that they don't stand a chance right now. We also have another quote from Wade Barra, and he said that what they did to Bret Hart, Vince, John Cena, Ricky Steamboat, and a lot of other wrestlers, and their attacks and assaults are just a part of a much bigger agenda, meaning we haven't seen the whole picture yet, we haven't seen the framework of what their agenda is. There is more to come, and there is more to come of it, and we haven't been explained really why and what are they going after and why are they doing this, except for that the fact that they feel they have been disrespected, mistreated, and somewhere lost guidance from the WWE pros. People also wonder, will the Season 2 rookies join in with the Season 1 rookies from Nexus, from NXT, with that being the Nexus? I would say yes and no, because as I said, they haven't seen their best days yet. They will expand, they will bring in more wrestlers, and whom are these wrestlers going to be and why? Well, I feel, like Wade Barra said during Raw, early on at the forging together of the Nexus, is that we were treated like animals, we were treated like dogs, and when you treat people like animals, sooner or later they will start to behave like animals. So whom are subject to join the Nexus? Well, I would say rumors have been that someone is going to join, that being a new leader, a wrestler from the WWE. Not necessarily from Team WWE, although WWE did it good to build up there was going to be Chris Jericho because he was the leader of the winner, Wade Barrett, and he seemed like the wrestler that wasn't really, and perhaps the most malplaced of all the wrestlers in Team WWE, and he even quit the match, didn't want to be on the team only 6 days before. And WWE did that very good, because all the way into SummerSlam he seemed with one foot in Team WWE, but also kind of smirking when talking to Wade Barrett and having this classical gloat in the eye, as if he had something coming, as if he had a plan or something. Then he was beaten down by the Nexus, only to make you think, well, that's just for show. He's gonna join some team, the Nexus team at SummerSlam. I mean, they beat him up, but what the hell, you never know. Maybe they just gave him soft punches or something, and he's gonna show up, and or maybe he took the beating for real just to fool Team WWE and get one back on John Cena, whom he hates over everything. But no, he didn't do that, and actually he tried doing his best during the entire match at SummerSlam, and he wasn't the one to lead the team. I don't think he will be in the future either, but it felt like whom else? Maybe Daniel Bryan will, but no, he didn't. He came back, but no, he's not going to lead Team Nexus. I believe the wrestler that will need a lead, if anyone, from the Team WWE, is not the main event guy. It's not Sheamus either, who has a truce right now. We've seen the truce that Sheamus has, Jericho wanting to join the Nexus, somewhat edge, not that much, but that means the Nexus is a potential threat. WWE wrestlers want to be with Nexus, they want to be on their good side, but no, there's not going to be a main eventer. That's good, because that in its turn would overshadow the Nexus wrestlers, whom are still kind of green. I would only say that Wade Barrett is the one that sticks out the most, possibly followed by Skip Sheffield, but Wade Barrett is light years ahead of him. No, the wrestler to lead them, if anyone, is The Miz. Why? Simply because he was excluded by Team WWE. He was treated like a dog. He was put out in the backyard, told to stay there, and the door was shut on him. He might join, and if he joins, you have Alex Riley coming in with him, and the way that the NXT Season 2 episode ended last Tuesday with Husky Harris simply went ballistic, and it almost felt sad of him, because you have all these, had this been a couple of weeks ago, they have been treated the situation better, the WWE pros, that is, simply for the reason of being afraid of what happened if they treat the NXT rookies bad. This is very subliminal, but they did that. They were kind of scared, they tried to sugarcoat it to the Nexus, but once the Nexus lost at SummerSlam, they lost another member. They treated Husky Harris like crap when he was kicked out. Cody Rhodes initiated the fight. Husky Harris got the beating, he got the rejection, he got all these smear words from the pros and the rookies, and told to just get out of here and to beat it. It almost felt sad for him. That's why he might be subject to join the group as well. And that way the Nexus will turn into this Nexus of wrestlers that initially made the group. The 8 wrestlers that felt excluded, they felt treatly, they were poorly treated, and they never got the respect that they felt they deserved. They never got a level playing field chance, and they were always put down. The Miz has been put down now, and he will bring in Alex Riley. Husky Harris might come in as well. I don't know about Cody Rhodes, not impossible. But Cody Rhodes and Husky Harris are not as dependent of each other as Alex Riley is of the Miz. And now with Daniel Bryan out of the Nexus group, that opens for the Miz as well, despite feuding with Daniel Bryan. So that's what I think will happen, and this will go on for months. The Nexus, just when you think they are down, just when the WWE wrestlers act as if Nexus are out, they will be back. Thank you for watching, and share your thoughts.